Hello YouTube fans, here again. And this is a film that's a bit it's a miss. Should it be a rant? Should it not be a rant? That being the classic, the 1958 The Blob. That's right, I'm not hearing things. The classic 1958 The Blob from 1958. And it's one of them. It was a classic B movie, right? But over the years, I was more of a lover of the picture, the blob's got into my blood and throat. Um, as I was about to say, I was really erupted by a burp. I was more of a lover of the remake. Because the remake, I saw that before I saw the 1958 one. And the remake, it was gruesome, it manipulated you, the blob didn't fuck around, it was killing people left, right, and centre, it was splattering people, it wasn't friendly, didn't do shit if you was a kid, didn't do shit if you was a woman, didn't do shit if you was a lad, whether you're a man, whatever, it would just kill you and burn you. And I like the characters in it, I like the fact that it was ultra gruesome, I like the fact it was science fiction, I like the horror aspects, I like everything about the remake, right? But I'll say one thing, even though I wasn't a lover of the original, it's growing on me. Doesn't mean I'm going to offend it, doesn't mean I'm going wah, 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 until it's behind. It means, all said and done, it has growing on me. But it's still not a good film. That's why I said I don't know whether to be a rant or a review. Because the only decent thing to come out of the 1958 The Blob is you bought a new actor on the way. We all know now he's a legend. That being Chief Mateen. I like Chief Mateen. I can one day around the world I might talk about all my favourite Chief Mateen films. Whether it would be Bullet, whether it be the Escape, whether it would be Papillon, which is a very good performance I may add by Chief Mateen. Whether it would be The Getaway, the original one. Would it be things like that? There would be films I would happy to say I like a team when they were on the road. I might talk about his films. So that was the only decent thing about The Blob. Brought out Chief Mateen's first acting role. The other decent thing is the blob itself. People laugh at it now and think it looks stupid. You got a big blob attacking people and everything. But the effects for its time and how they did it, none of this CGI shit. These were like proper practical effects for that era. And how they achieved it was pretty talented. They had like a miniature house, they had a thing with the pushed down, made the blob thing blow up a little bit so it looks like the blob was attacking a shopping centre. Little things like that, little bots made like cinema, the blob come out the other end, use a thing that can press it down, it puts out a gel, it comes out, it looks like the blob was coming out the cinema. So how they did that and how they achieved it for 1958, that was pretty good effects for that era. So in my eyes, the only decent thing to come out of the 1958, The Blob, is you put out Chief Mateen and The Blob itself, right? The Blob and Chief Mateen are the start of the film in my eyes, because the rest of the actors are thinking, why not? I love doing it. Got to hurt my knuckles. A piece of wood. There's a piece of freaking wood. Even Chief Mateen's staring it, who is snogging. Even she could be a little bit wooden at times. I defer her do. She does do a little bit of a good performance. The rest of the actors, it feels like a scene from Rebel Without a Cause. It does feel like the scene from Rebel Without a Cause. Because the scene in it, I do like this bit though. The bit where he meets his buddies, right, and they're tearing him to go on this car. They're telling Chief Mateen to go backwards. Looking probably attacking my phone. Right? So they're telling him to go backwards. So he waits for the lights to go red, shoots forwards, but because he goes fast, there's also that saying, isn't there? There's never a bobby when you need one. In this case, he bumps into the policeman, and he tries to blag him, but it doesn't work. But then the policeman sort of like lets him off, a slap on the hand, don't do it again. That cool police officer, that, isn't it? But like I say, some of the actors are like wooden in it. They really are wooden. You got a kid, your typical sterile kid of the 50s, good teen boy, blonde hair, goes to bed on time, not that cheeky. You get to bed and I'll buy you a puppy. It's just your typical sterile kid of that era, you know what I mean? But this is what the film is. It's your typical 1950s monster film. That's how I see it. So it starts off, you've got this really, really horrible, horrendous theme tune. It eats and it cheats and it moves. Beware of the blob. Seriously, I'm not even making that up. That's how it freaking starts. The most worstest theme tune I've ever heard. Just my brains of a freaking blob. Then it starts off with Chief Cheese snogging his turf end. You see the UFO flying down. Dead thematic music, which is quite typical of that era, so I'm not going to be insulting on it. It's different era, different timepiece. But there are bits I do love, so activities do. I like the bit where the lads are finding this rock and every time they touch it, it gets hot. I like that touch. And there's only a few bits what the remake copied, and I do admit the remake did better. The bit where this old guy finds the blob and it sticks on his hand. They did that in the 80s remake, or they did it a lot better because it did look a lot more painful. Even his acting's over the top. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's how he acts. Seriously, I'm not even making that up. Again, they say so many people got killed in the film, but they don't show that many people get killed in the film because, you know, again, different era, different time. And like the 80s one, mate, it was more graphic. The team of the old guy got the blob in his hand. He was in that much pain. He'd had to even cut his own hand off. That was how desperate he was to get in the blob of his frigging hand. So that's why I preferred the remake. But it doesn't mean I hate this one. It doesn't mean I despise it. It's growing on me. But I don't offend it and say it's not a good film. Even Chief McTee said he hated the film. And then people mentioned him when he was alive. How do you feel about when you did the blob? This was Chief McTee. Wasn't me. Seriously, even Chief McTee hated the film. Even though it was his launching career. But there are bits I do like about the film. You know what I mean? I like the bit when it comes out of the cinema. Again, I think it did it better in the remake, but everyone remembers the famous scene when the blob comes out the cinema. I like the way that was done. The bits here and there where the effects are dated, but for its era, I can let that go by over my head. Like the bit where it covers over a chaff there, and you got one actor, he used a wood in his one of them, or he used to talk his wood. He gets a rock and he hesitates. I'm thinking, why the fuck are you hesitating? You've got a rock, smash the freaking thing, get a fire extinguisher, because they find out, right, that cold can destroy it. But I just thought it was laughable how they did it. All the lads are running out, really looking painted pieces of wood I've ever seen with fire extinguishers, right? See the thing in the shop? Fuck it, I'll show you. One of these. And that destroys this big dock-off thing, what is covered over a bloody taffy. And they managed to destroy it. Well, they don't destroy it, they just freeze it. Then you've got an air top, so it fires along, chopped it in the Antarctic. You've got the end, which is like typical of old films. Then you've got a testing mark, you know, the wonder testing mark, which kind of leaves an opening. But the reason why I don't badmouth this one is because the follow-up was called Return of the Blob, which came out in 1972, is a piece of shit. It's not called the blob, it's called the shit, the return, because it's garbage. And what's such an insult is, Laddie Atman, that's JR from Dyers, the man himself directed that. I don't want to speak ill of the dead. I know Laddie Atman is no longer with us, but you can definitely see why he changed his career and went into soap and went into Dyers, because that was the best thing he ever did, because directing, competing utter sucks. And it's such an insult, because Laddie Atman, that's JR, he freaking directed that. And that is nothing. There's not even anything good I can say about that. But the blob, I do like it. I like the bit where there's a Bobby, right, a police officer, and he's in this room and he's playing test himself. A bit like the internet test, but what he does is he uses a walkie-talkie, and his mates show him how to play test, and he's playing test on the other end. I thought, oh, that's that unique. So that got a few laughs from me, which I imagine for that era got a few laughs in the cinema. And so I don't love the 1958 blob. I don't love it. I can't offend it. But I could say it's growing on me. But the one I would love to review, the one I'm going to review when I get a chance, is the classic 1988 The Blob, the remake one. Because to me, that's how you do a remake the right way. That's my favourite one. But I don't, as you heard me say, people that love the classic 1958 one. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But I would say it's growing on me. But in all fair said and done, the only two decent things about the 58 one is Chief McTee, his first appearance in his acting career, the blob. the rest of the actors, why not? Can't do it now. Would. But until then, be smart, be safe. See you soon.